Yeah, I know I haven't done a video in a while. The last one I did was about the video games and, you know. Okay, anyway. Oh, so you must have read this. So, read the title, or if you didn't, then okay. Cool. I still love you. If you didn't, I don't know. I'm trying at least. Okay, so I was going to go to a funeral the day after I videoed this, and day after I videoed this and uploaded it, of course, with how much editing I do at all. I don't do editing at all on any of my channels. Okay, anyway, yeah, I stink. I know. Anyway, this is for the people that were at the funeral because I was planning on them lying about how sorry they are. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. And okay, so chapter 20 all the way up to where the end of the Ten Commandments is. I don't know where that is. It's probably like 15 or whatever. No, those are not bear false witness. That's actually verse 16 is the one I really wanted to get at. So those are the people, and it's looking like 17, chapter 17, not chapter 17, verse 17. That's what they call it. Okay, so and God spake. It said spake. Yeah, I guess we don't use that word anymore. All spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt and out of the house of bondage. Out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Yeah, I'm having to use the other wording, so I guess that's why. Okay, anyway, yeah, some people. I don't think that's too big of a problem in this country. Although, if you have, that's actually not completely. I'm sure that there are other countries where it is a bigger deal. So yeah, I'm feeling like it's not. Don't have anything like, for example, um, I'm still watching Star Trek from decades ago. Yeah, it kind of got to be a big deal for me. Don't. For example, I mean, yeah, behind me here, bunch of autographs from Star Trek. I'm still watching Star Trek from 1987, and I let it get okayed away. So yeah, don't let anything get anything TV show, movies, even if it's anything specific. Don't. I know. uh, don't let no other gods before me. Me being God, of course, not that I'm claiming to be God. Somehow I'm thinking someone's gonna get that confused. Um, Thou shalt not make unto thee anything that is in heaven above, or that is. Okay, I gotta read this. This is probably. Yes, I have a huge Bible. I know. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Do not make a statue of God. Don't make a statue of. Don't make anything that resembles God or Jesus. Or, I mean, you can have people acting to be Jesus, like if you've seen Chosen, for example. Yeah, if something like that, that's okay. But if you make, I don't know, food sculpture, no, well, if you're just having fun, I'm sure that's fine. Not that I've ever done that, but thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for the Lord thy God am jealous. I'm a jealous God. God is jealous. Don't just devote. Personally, do you want to feel jealous? No, I don't think so. It's not fun. Okay, it's not fun. Don't make God jealous. You wouldn't want you wouldn't want him making you jealous. Don't make him jealous. Why'd you do that? That's not nice. Jealous God visiting the inquiry of the father upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Why would you hate God? I don't know, but India does. Japan, I imagine, does. China, not all of China. They got people worshiping God in the ground. So I feel happy for those people. I feel hurting. I kind of feel sorry for the people that want to worship God that live in China but don't know I don't know. I personally, if I was living in China and I was worshiping underground like that, I just let it be. I wouldn't blabber around town because that's how you get caught. And showing mercy unto thou sons of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take thy Lord's name in vain, the Lord thy God's name in vain. It's too bad my dad's not still alive because, by the way, that's the funeral that I'm going to. By the way, while I'm talking about that, do you see me hurting about it? Right, you don't. Therefore, there's nothing to be sorry about. I'm serious. There's nothing to be sorry about. Don't tell me sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about. You only see me hurting. Okay? There's nothing to be sorry about. Don't tell me sorry. If you do, you're a liar. For the Lord will not hold him guiltless. You're going to feel guilty if you use his name in vain. By the way, Larry, my dad, Larry, if you're watching this in heaven, this would be why you shouldn't have. Don't go to the golf course saying GD. Oh my gosh, you got blah blah blah, all that. Don't do that. Don't. The shot was okay. It's okay just because it's even if you're even if it's a terrible shot. God don't want you using his name in vain. Don't do that. I mean, I don't care what the situation is. My dad was a golfer, and like I just said, he died, so he's no longer a golfer. Heaven does not have a golf course, so he used to be a golfer. So okay, if you go to the golf course and you hit an okay shot, that's not. Don't use the Lord's name in vain. If you go to the golf course and hit a terrible shot, if you hit the worst shot ever in your entire life, I don't care. God doesn't care. Do not use the Lord's name in vain. I don't care if you lost your loved one. I don't care. I don't care if someone dies on you. I don't care if you... Do not use the Lord's name in vain. It says right here, do not use my name in vain. I will hold him guiltless. I will not hold him guiltless. It doesn't say, unless you hit a bad shot on the golf course. It doesn't say that. It says, do not use the Lord's name in vain. If you do, I will not hold you guiltless. It says right here. Exodus chapter 20, verse 7. It says, I will not hold you guiltless if you use my name in vain. My name being God, of course, again, like I said. It doesn't matter. I don't care if someone's rude. I don't care if someone's a jerk. I don't care if you're in a really bad mood. I don't care if you're getting sued for $1 billion. I don't care. God doesn't care. God doesn't... Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Which, by the way, this means um, um, do not work on Sunday, which not necessarily Sunday, but do not work. Work for 6 days. You're free to work for 6 days, and then, well, some of us are going to be like, well, I don't even want to work at all. Well, okay. Well, you're supposed to work. Personally, I don't work because I don't get along with people. I promise I do. I just don't get along with people. I fail to see any purpose in working because I cannot get along with people. Do you have any idea how hard you keep a job if you don't get along with people? I gave up. Forgive me if I. Ugh. Leave a comment. Why is it rude to not believe someone is sorry? Yeah. Remember the Sabbath? Oh, 6 days you shall labor and do all the work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath for the Lord thy God. In it shall not. So you're supposed to like sit there and like meditate on like the Bible and the God's word and everything, and I know I should do that more. I should. I promise I should. I get there. I should. I don't. I'm not perfect. I don't do this as well as I should. It may have something to do with a TV show that I have an addiction to. I actually one of my other YouTube channels is Bible Bible Check. I was gonna say Bible Check. That's this channel. Checkaholic. That's the other channel. I'm still watching. Like I said, I'm still watching Star Trek from the '80s. I let it carried away. I know. I improved. I know. But still, I still need some help. Okay, I still need some help. In my defense, I think it's fun to say, "Oh, I've been watching Star Trek for decades since the '80s." God doesn't care about that. I mean, I know. I got my connection. Come on, give me a break. Thou shalt not for thy daughter, thy manservant. Don't let any of your employees work, is the way it's saying. It's saying manservant, don't let your daughter work, don't let your manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, don't let any of these employees work. That's the short version. For 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth and the sea, and which actually wasn't actually 6 days, at least on our view of 6 days. In them is, and we rested the seventh day. However, the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord has got. I've seen some stuff on YouTube on. I don't remember if it was. I think it was TV, but well, anyway, the point is that it was. I watched something on either TV or YouTube or wherever, where there was like someone that was having trouble and the parent was like finally having it. So this parent decides to send the child to jail, and as something rather they sent the camera crew, pronounce my words, they send the camera crew in to show how this child is behaving toward their parent, and really, I think all of them were mothers. It was towards their mother, and the parent, the child is always a child that's sneaking out. Child is cussing at their parent. Child is beating up on their sibling. Child is. Was honor give it the land which the Lord thy God has given thee. thou shalt not kill, which actually it's the original wording in whatever language it says thou shalt not murder. This says thou shalt not kill, but it's actually thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. That's looking at someone like your neighbor's wife or somebody. Whatever, thou shalt not steal. Everybody knows that. And yet people do it anyway. Thou shalt not steal. People, do not steal. Okay? Do not steal. Just don't do it. Why? It says right here, Exodus 20:15. Thou shalt not steal. Just don't do it. Do not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. No, that's the one I was getting at about sorry. Do you see me crying? Right. What is there to be sorry about? Exactly. Also, I got other stories. Being from Las Vegas, I went into a Subway on the Las Vegas Strip, and I started talking to the employees, and the fact that somewhere in there I got on the topic. I mentioned that I was born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah, well, kind of goes without being said. Yeah, this is Las Vegas, Nevada, not Las Vegas, New Mexico, by the way. Yeah, I I went to the strip one night and walked into a Subway and, to eat. And I started talking to the guy and I brought up the fact that I was born and raised in Las Vegas. And he says he's sorry. I'm like, I like it. I like living here. What is there to be sorry about? I mean, and then I'm going to, again, on the strip. I was like minutes from walking to the Stratosphere, and I was like getting up to the crosswalk there on, if you look it up, you'll see this street called Paradise. And I was walking, I already turned onto where it turns into St. Louis. It's like, not I wasn't going to cross on Bob Stupek. Yeah, it's one of the lesser known intersections. It's not like the main intersection. Like, okay, if you're driving northbound and you're like passing Stratosphere, you'll pass this street called Bob Stupek. That's the guy that originally owned the Stratosphere. It's the next light that I was approaching the next light after the Bob Stupek after there. And that kind of runs into the Stratosphere, except it's obviously doesn't run into it, but because anyway, as I was getting up there, I hadn't pressed the thing yet. And there was this guy that drives up onto the crosswalk. By the way, are you supposed to drive up onto the crosswalk or just before the crosswalk? Yeah, just before the crosswalk. This guy drives up onto the crosswalk. He yells out the window saying, "I'm sorry." If you're so sorry, then don't drive up on the crosswalk. I told him, dude, if you don't drive up on the crosswalk, there's nothing to be sorry about. And he starts yelling at me, and he even put some cuss words in there. I don't know. Anyway, and then I got two more that I want to get to. There's, oh my gosh. I was in the Porty Subs once. And I'm not blaming I'm not blaming Porty Subs or Subway for this. So don't think that I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just blaming the individuals. My dad and I walk into a Subway, and not a Subway, Porty Subs. We walk into the Porty Subs. We order the food. We get we get some beverages. We get like some sodas and such. And my half sister is standing there. My half sister standing there, getting the sodas and all that, and I'm standing there waiting for her to get done, and so is this other kid. I shouldn't say other kid. I was like 30, 35 at the time, however old I was. So and then what I assumed to be the child's dad turns around and says, "I'm sorry." The kid's just standing there, not causing any trouble. What is there to be sorry about? So anyway, there was nothing to be sorry about. He's just standing there. He's not causing any trouble or anything. He's just standing there. Okay. I'm trying to stop coughing. Okay. So, and then, there was a Starbucks next door to that. This last story starts in a Starbucks that happens to be next door the pointer subs to the previous story. About the guy turns around and says, "I'm sorry, my son is standing there." Anyway, I walk in there and there was something. I'm sorry, and I told him I don't believe him. They told me that was harassment. One, how is that harassment? No one's ever told me that before or since. No one's ever told me that. No one's ever told me. It's always been harassment. I mean, harassment. It's always been disrespect. And then, I guess, and then about an hour and a half later, because I was always going there to sit there and buy something and play on their Wi-Fi, and then so an hour and a half goes by and I get done with her and I go over to McDonald's and play on their Wi-Fi because I'd rather have McDonald's because at least I don't get into coffee. So anyway, the manager of McDonald's saw that something was wrong, although I don't understand how because that was like an hour and a half ago. Anyway, I don't understand how she picked up on that, but oh well. That's not the point. The point is that I told her about them telling me sorry, and then we talked about some other things, like for example, how are you? I mean, if you say because when I was working at Suncoast, I used to work at one of the hotels here in Vegas, one of the off-strip hotels, and it was called Suncoast. While I was working there, someone walked by and said, "How are you?" and then continued walking. That doesn't exactly make me think you actually care how I'm doing. Okay? That does not communicate that you want to know how I'm doing. Do you really want this world to get better? No, I guess not. At least that guy doesn't. So anyway, that's a whole nother story. So I mentioned that to her, to the lady at McDonald's, and she agreed with me every step of the way. I include even the part about sorry. She even said that she agreed about the part about sorry. And then 4, 5, 6 weeks later, whatever it was, someone told me sorry, one of the employees, and she's like, and then minutes later, the same lady that told me that she agreed with me about this every step of the way. She comes up to me and starts chewing me out for not believing that the employee was sorry. I'm just there not believing you. I just don't believe you. I mean, if you really want me to believe you, then prove it to me. Well, how are you going to do that? Well, that's not my problem. That's not my problem. Okay, anyway, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet the neighbor's wife. Thou shalt not masturbate, nor the maidservant, nor the ox, nor his ass. Yes, like I said, that does not count as a curse word. Now that I think about it, I didn't say that until just now. Anyway, thou shalt not covet the neighbor's ass. That does not count. Just because you say it, that does not count as cussing. By the way, the Bible elsewhere, it's like in First John or somewhere. It says, "Thou shalt not cuss." You have to look up exactly where that says that, but it says, "Do not cuss." For the word of God's word shall not come out of the same mouth as someone that cusses. So yeah, you're gonna want to know that ass is not a cuss word, damn is not a cuss word, bitch is not a cuss. I mean, it's none of that is cussing. None of these words that people think are cussing are actually cuss words. You can use, I guess you could say that you could use sorry as a cuss word. If you say sorry and you intend to communicate respect, that's cussing. And I don't really care what you think because it's cussing. So yeah, it shall not. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightning. Okay, that's the end of the commandments. Yeah, like I said, I could be doing better. Okay, so yeah, don't cuss. Don't use the Lord's name in vain. Why is sorry not? I mean, well, sure, you're raised to say sorry, but you're also raised to not lie. I don't know. Okay, you're the best. I know I got something up my nose. I know. At least I'm not trying to get it out. No, I shouldn't have said that. I know. Okay, I'll try to get that out. Okay, so you're the best. I appreciate you. Give me a few likes, even though I may have just had an off moment. Okay, bye.